BTIG's Rich Greenfield joins us now on the Fast Line. Rich, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Melissa.
What do you make of the situation?
Look, we've believed for literally 2+ years that both Viacom and CBS are too small. And it's been really kind of sad watching the rest of the media universe merge and get bigger. You know, you look at just the big news this morning, Disney shareholders and Fox shareholders approving their mega merger. You've seen AT&T gobble up Time Warner. You've seen Scripps sell out to Discovery. Meanwhile, Les Moonves has really been the personal impediment to a merger of Viacom and CBS. And I think, you know, from the standpoint of what needs to happen, both these companies need to get bigger. And unfortunately, I don't see a long list of buyers for either company. I think their best first action, and I've believed this for quite some time, is to get together, get bigger themselves, and then explore other transactions that could make them even bigger than that.
Connect what is widely expected now from the New Yorker over the weekend with what you're saying. Are you saying that this will precipitate Les Moonves' stepping away from the company, you know, on terms that we don't know yet, but stepping away effectively and facilitating the merger between these two companies? And how does a lawsuit fit into all of this?
Well, look, I've believed for quite some time that Les did not want a merger, meaning he personally blocked the merger 2 years ago, didn't want it to happen unless it was on his specific personal terms. And I've really felt that given that, it was right for him to step aside. And so whether it's just him retiring, whether it's the things that you're alluding to and Julia just talked about, doesn't really matter to me. I think the key point is, in order to get these two companies merged together, which is good for both of them long term, Les needs to be gone. And we've been steadfast in that belief over the last 12 months.
I get what you're saying, Rich, but if CBS actually prevails in its lawsuit against National Amusements, could there be a situation where Les is gone, but CBS prevails anyway, and so dilutes the interests of National Amusements?
Look, I guess there's always possibilities. You know, we're a big believer that Delaware recognizes the ownership rights of shareholders. And, you know, it would seem pretty hard to imagine when you look at controlling shareholders like the Murdoch family, like Evan Spiegel, like Mark Zuckerberg, for the Delaware courts to overturn shareholder rights and reverse decades of shareholder rights seems very, very unlikely. So we were pretty confident that CBS was going to fail in this attempt anyway. Right. This really seemed like a crazy Hail Mary. I think honestly, Les has been delaying the inevitable for 2+ years.
In terms of retirement?
No, in terms of stopping the merger.
Okay, stopping the merger.
Well, but yeah, and again, he doesn't want to do it. It would be, in an ideal world, the best case scenario would Les Moonves and Bob Bakish would get in a room, work together, and build the combined company for the future. But I don't think Les really wants to do it. And so if he doesn't want to do it, but it's the best long-term move for the company, he should step aside for whatever the reason is.
Okay. Rich, we got to go. Thanks so much for phoning in.
Thanks for having me, Melissa.
Rich Greenfield, BTIG. What do you think happens? How do we trade the situation?
I think the stock, listen, you go back to their quarter on May 3rd. They reported a great quarter, EPS beat and a revenue beat. The stock was trading $48. Within a month and a half, it was a $60 stock. Valuation was compelling. A lot of analysts raised their price targets. This stock reports, I think, Wednesday or Thursday of next week. I think it's still a compelling story on valuation. I think the quarter is going to be strong. And in my opinion, you're going to want to own it here. I don't know what's going on with Mr. I have no idea. I don't think anybody does. I think this gives you an opportunity to buy the stock great entry level under earnings.
Well, the nice thing about this is at one point, I think the Viacom merger was a bad thing. So as you heard Rich say, is actually forget about that. Putting these two things together ultimately is a good thing, but it doesn't need to happen in the short run. Guys talking valuation 13 times trailing, slightly more than that going forward. Major discount to the sector. Ad revenues are very strong, probably the best of the networks, frankly.
So this I don't disagree with either Tim or Guy, but this story just broke basically. So you're going to have to say whatever hurts CBS helps Viacom. So I'd put on that trade at least until earnings come out. So I don't think you can argue with that. I'd be long Viacom, short CBS. Earnings come out, maybe you close that up the day before.
I agree with that on valuation as well, because Viacom's trading cheaper than CBS. But at the end of the day, I worry about the collateral effect within CBS management structure. So if he gets ousted, if Les gets ousted, and there is a combination of Viacom, CBS, is there going to be cooperation on the CBS side, or do you lose key personnel there that makes that integration incredibly messy? So that's the concern I worry about.